This video is sponsored by Narc.90. They are beyond technical. Right now there's an offer on if you go to narc.90.com and use the BiG Scuba code BiG Scuba 2024.
Shall we? So right now the next step is to get on with some measuring.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So you ready for this? We'll move the tables out of the way.
Okay.
And the chairs. I think we can move this over here. Who wants to go first? I promise I've got warm hands.
6 to 8. Oh yeah, we're gonna stand like this.
So the important part for measuring is to remember we're measuring the body.
Yeah.
But you don't wear your trainers when you go diving, so we get rid of them to start with. And it's really important that as you are, we're wearing clothes that are as tight-fitting as possible, so that we can actually see the body, see where the measurements are, and also get accurate. Because once these measurements are done, Santi will take into consideration when the suit is fitted that it should be able to be dived in a BZ 400, which is the warmest suit we have, the thickest undersuit. So we don't need to think about, oh, I want it a bit baggier, I want it a bit. What we're doing right now is measuring the body.
Some kind of tolerance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's been a few questions that I've asked you, which I will refer back to now when I'm doing the measuring, particularly with you.
Okay.
But so we'll start at the start. I've got warm hands.
That's all right.
Perfect. Do you have a neoprene neck seal or a neoprene?
Yeah.
So now we're going to take the body trunk measurement, which is from here, the top of your breastbone. So I'll find the top for you there. And if you could just put your finger there on the tape at the top.
There.
That's it, perfect. We just notice here, when we're measuring, and this is more pronounced normally on ladies than it is on men, but it's really important that we're measuring the whole back, because obviously when Gemma bends forward, this is all taken into consideration, so you have to measure the space here. And we're 1 foot.
So is that like the hollow of the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which side do you direct? And like Jame.
Right, if you could just put your arm out, just hold it out there. Right, just one. And arm out again. Now we're going to take the bicep measurement. We like to measure this in a couple of positions. We can measure it flat here, in a relaxed state around the widest point. But I'd also like you to do is, you've not done this yet, but when you do a shutdown, you need to reach for the isolator valve here.
Yeah.
So if you could do that for me. Because if you move on to... So there's a 3 centimetre difference in your arm, and if you imagine, it'll become more pronounced now when we measure Ian afterwards.
Yeah.
But even I knew you're quite well trained. So if we measure it only down here, if you move on to technical diving later and you need to perform this movement, if we're missing 3 or 4 centimetres,
well, that's a lot, isn't it?
It will probably be around about 5 or 6 centimetres. If you're missing that in the measurement of the suit, it will make this movement even more difficult. And it's actually the same with the forearm as well. So if we measure your forearm with the tape measure the right way round, would it be good? Okay, and then just do your shutdown again. Just open up your arm a little bit. That's it. That's it.
It was a brand that I've been in for a while and then I've changed it. And then it all went
Yeah.
wrong.
So there's a 2 centimetre differences there.
Well, 4 years I never had
You can measure your wrist on the other side. Just hold it down straight. You have got quite long arms.
I have, yeah.
But that's okay, because when we come to fit in the suit,
My current suit, I do feel that's like, it does go up a little bit over my,
well, we can make those adjustments to a standard size.
Yeah.
So if you turn and face me, we're going to take the chest measurement now, and there's 2 measurements: fully exhaled and fully inhaled.
Yeah.
So you just lift up your arms. Okay, and then put your arms down. I want you to breathe all the way out, and then breathe all the way in. Full breath. Good. Now we'll take that. If you could just lift your t-shirt up so I can see. Here, that's fine. 4. Take the thigh measurement now, and the way we do this is we take it 5 centimetres below the crotch. So if you just stand relaxed. 58. It's not very good for my old knees. It's up and down all
it's
the
up
time.
and down.
So now we're going to take some measurements of the legs. So what I would like you to do is take the tape measure, hold it by the metal, and hold it up into your crotch,
Yep.
into the top of your leg.
Yep.
And make sure that that's right, so it stays flat. And then stand up and look up as well, so we can see. Take the first one down to the knee, 34. And down to the floor. Can you just turn around? When we're doing the calf measurements, especially if people have had injuries before, so if people have had bad knee injuries, you can often find that one calf is favoured and can be slightly bigger. So it's important, again, this is why we like people to be in tight-fitting clothing, so we can visibly see. We want to measure the biggest calf. So if you just stand and we're going to take a measurement now, 20 centimetres from the floor on your leg. This is the test measurement for the flexible ball. Okay, so there's 3 measurements on the ladies that we need to take, that we don't have to take on the guys. And for this, we need our magic tool. These measurements are from the waist. So the reason we use this is because it's easy for us to find the waist area, then we can take the measurements from it. One of them is point of rest, and it's really important, especially that all people, especially ladies, that this is discussed, that people wear what they wear when they dive, when they're measured for a suit.
Yep.
So if you wear a sports bra and you are a different shape in a sports bra, it's important to measure that,
Yep.
because then we can see what's going on. Just turn around. And the last one is just lift your arm up. That's you done.
Right, thank you very much.
too painful?
No, not at all. And
take this back. There's lots of people walking around in these randomly.
you feel confident that you've taken the measurements as well. That's
Good.
yeah, that's
Excellent.
really good.
Okay, Ian, I'm ready for you, sir.
With that,
Do you want me to move it as you?
so if you come around,
Yeah.
to show, all you basically need to do, don't touch the cleanly, but just lightly move that
Yeah,
up
that's fine.
and down, just like that. Because like when he measures your foot, I just moved it up.
Yeah.
So
and I'll take some pictures. Like that. I'll just put that on the floor. Okay.
Yeah. I'll hold it in place. Right. Okay.
Super. You ready?
Right. Yes. Ready when you are.
I'm warmer now.
Okay. Warm hands.
Thank you. Relax. It's okay. Okay. Head up. So just look forward. Neoprene neck.
Yep. Please.
Same with the body trunk measurement.
Okay.
If I just find it, and then if you hold your finger on there, that's it. Just step forwards a little bit. Okay, you can let go now.
Okay.
And turn around. This is quite the point of shoulder measurement is quite a hard measurement to take, especially on guys. Sometimes it can be if you're trained like you.
Right.
Because if I find your shoulder bone is there.
Yeah.
However, we need to measure a little bit more along your shoulder to get to, and also come across the top of your shoulder seam.
Okay.
Because we need to take into consideration this mass here.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then put your arm out, this arm out, to the side here. Perfect. Put your arm down now. So now we will just give you a bit of camera time now. So how massive you are. Okay, put your arms down and relax. And now do a shutdown.
What, this arm?
Yeah. There's a 5 centimetre difference in the bicep.
How do you mean?
From when I measure it here, relaxed,
Yeah.
to when I measure it in the shutdown position.
Oh.
There's a 5 centimetre
Wow,
difference,
that's fine.
which is a lot. And I'm going to tell you now that your forearms will be, okay, into a shutdown. There's 4 centimetres there difference.
Wow. It's quite a bit of difference, actually, isn't it? You wouldn't think that would make that much difference.
Especially if you are struggling with mobility anyway.
Yeah.
If we don't account for that on you, on your suit, you are the classic for this. If you don't account for that, your suit will be tight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird, because in a wetsuit, I'm fine.
Yeah, but this neoprene is, there's more give.
Yeah. It's a lot of difference, isn't it?
Okay,
Okay.
stand to the side facing me. So, I want you to breathe all the way out. And then I want you to take a breath all the way in.
You don't have to get down on one knee for me.
I know. Indeed. Can you imagine at the UK diving show how many comments?
Oh, I
passed?
bet. Loads. Huh?
Okay, if you just pull your trousers up as much as possible.
Right.
So we're not walking around like 50 Cent.
No. God no.
85. So same again.
Okay.
Take the metal part.
Yeah.
Try not to hold it so it gives you extra 5 centimeters, and then hold that up to the top of your leg.
Yeah.
That's it. Perfect. And can those trousers come up at all?
Yeah.
Over your calves?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Quite stretchy.
That's great. And if you just turn and face the camera. Okay, that's all done.
That's really simple, isn't it? It's a really quick process.
If you're talking people through it, it takes a little bit longer, but if you're just measuring.
Yeah.
So we encourage our dealers as well to, as you've done today,
Yeah.
we measure by 2 people. Because that's literally, if it takes 5 minutes to measure something.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is actually just measuring, it takes 5 minutes. So it's good, we get 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
Just so we can then compare. So we can get both sizes.
Yeah.
And work out if they're both the same, then great. If there's one that's different, then you measure that one together again.
Yeah.
Make sure we get it right.
Yeah. Good.
Excellent. Okay. So we maybe don't need the chairs, we can stand here.
Okay.
The next thing we do.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's still on.
I don't know how it's best for the camera with this one, but we have these measuring charts.
Okay.
So we have these measuring charts that we've got. So these are all of the standard sizes of the suits.
Okay.
And with a Santi suit, we can take a standard size and we can make up to 6 alterations of 5 centimeters, between 2 and 5 centimeters. We don't alter for 1 centimeter because it's pointless. So between 2 and 5 centimeters, and we can make 6 alterations. The first 4 are included in the price of a standard suit. 5 and 6 you pay for, but it's like 25 euros, I think, or something like that.
And how many sizes are in the range of the suits that you do?
Yeah, so there's 16 men's sizes, and there's 12 lady sizes.
Okay.
Actually, there's one more lady size as well.
So everybody's covered.
Pretty much. I mean, historically, I think the dry suit industry, historically, there's been a thing about made-to-measure suits being the better suit. And I think with some companies that used to be the case, because maybe if their suits were made outside of the UK en masse, but if it was a made-to-measure, it was made in the UK. So maybe there was some credence to that.
Yeah.
However, now with the Santi suit, if I'm I am a standard LS. So if you were a made-to-measure suit, the only difference is, in the cutting room at Santi, If it's for my suit, they just click a button that says standard men's LS, and the machine will cut out the patterns for those. And if you're a made-to-measure suit, they fill in your measurements into the computer, and the machine cuts out then you're left with a load of fabric cut into panels. From that point on, there's no difference.
Yeah, I was under the impression that they would take a standard suit, like it's already cut out, and then they'd cut and shape. So that's really good to know.
So you can have, so with these suits, if it's a made-to-measure suit, then we fill in all of the sizes, all the measurements we've just taken. These are all of the measurements that are needed to make a made-to-measure suit.
Yes. Yeah.
With a made-to-fit suit, which is basically where we take a standard size and make adjustments when we're loading it into the panel, and they put in a standard large suit with these adjustments.
Yes.
The computer will work it out, the panels will be cut out, but from that point on it's exactly the same.
That's brilliant. Right, us divers come in all shapes and sizes. What about disabled divers?
Yeah, absolutely. We've done a number of course that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of planning, but the guys at Santi are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, in those cases where there's a specific part of the body or a specific mobility issue, then what will happen is normally one of our more experienced dealers will be involved then, or even maybe one of us, to come over and take the measurements. We'll take photos, and so we get as much information. So it could take a while, but absolutely Santi is completely open, and we have many times made it for people who have lost limbs, or people have a serious mobility issue on one side.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I had one guy who he wanted a zip. We ended up doing a removable leg, because when he was at the dive sites, he wanted to have his prosthetic leg in. But then when he's diving, he doesn't want his prosthetic leg in because it's too floaty, so then he takes it out and kind of zips up. So there's That's
amazing,
It definitely can be done, because they have the expertise and the machinery to do it, and the knowledge. Okay, so what we do, Gemma, in your case, it's very easy for me to stand here. I know exactly what sizes you are before we even go into it, because I've looked at a lot of people. However, it's good to go through this process. So we look at the sizes. So first, from what height are you?
170.
170, bang on 170, okay. So that's a good indicator of where we're going to roughly start. And remembering some of these measurements, you'll see the bigger measurements, like the height, the chest, the waist, there's a bracket. So if you're within those, then it's classed as being right.
Yeah.
Some of the measurements, like for example the thigh, the circumference of the thigh is a circumference. There's nothing you can do about it. It either fits into the suit or it doesn't. And it's similar with the hips to a way as well. There's some key measurements where you have to get that right, otherwise it's not going to work. So we know we're going to be somewhere around a MLL or a large, somewhere around here. So then we can come down and look at the chest measurements. Yours are 94, 98. So if we're looking at large, and remember we've got 5 centimeters we can adjust. So sometimes we could look down and say, okay, an MLL would be where we're at. But as we move further down, maybe at the height or maybe at different measurements, it's easier to go from an L and bring an L back down with adjustments rather than an MLL up with adjustments. But we'll see where we get to. We go for the big measurements first, because the other measurements are generally just a tweak and an adjustment. So we're moving down then to the waist and the hips. So you've got 84 and 100. So when we're moving down 84, so you bang on a large there, and you see here an MLL. And you see here an MLL, you would be already, your measurement is too big. So we know we're somewhere between here. Both could be adjusted. And then we're on to the hips, 100. So again, here you're back down to MLL, but we could also adjust the large down. So I think with you, what we would do is start off with a large suit, look at it, feel how it is, and then we can make some adjustments from there. We're at the show, so we've got suits for you to try on. Some dealers don't have. I mean, to hold 29 different sizes of suits is obviously
that's a hell of a range.
It's a hell of a range. So there is a way of, if we were making a suit for you without those in, which a lot of our dealers do and do it very well, we would just decide from here where we wanted to
Just
adjust
visually,
and
yeah.
get the right suit for you. So I think we're gonna start you with an L, and then if we move on to Ian
Here's me.
This is you.
and move away from the ladies' side into the men's dry suit. There was I can tell now a little segue. Yesterday, a guy was trying on the suit, and I'd looked at him and I said, yeah, he needs to try on XLS. So I went off and did something else, and the staff got him in this suit. And I came back and I went, either I am losing my way, or I've got this totally wrong. So I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, I'm sure he should have been an XLS. And it was tight everywhere. And it took me like 5 minutes, and then suddenly I saw that LF, the ladies first, on the pocket. So he was in an XL. I don't know how he got into it. I don't know how he got out of it. So we have to make sure we get the right list. Okay, so your height, sir?
6'2".
No, you're not.
For the camera.
Question.
5'10".
Got to be
5'10". So
honest.
you're at like
5'9"
170, about the same height as me, like 172, 173. Okay. So, your major malfunction, sir, will be your chest and your shoulders.
Yes.
You're better that way than that way.
Yeah.
So we know we're going to be around, I know from looking at you that we're going to be around about an XL range,
Yeah.
just from your top half, your chest and your shoulder side. So we can start looking down here, and we have, and it's a good point to point out here, you've got small, medium, large, extra large, but then you have SL,
Okay.
ML,
Yeah.
MLL. That is not medium large, it's medium long.
Yeah, I'm short in the leg. And,
So these are, the L's are long and the S's are short.
Yeah.
So my suit, I am exactly a large short.
Yeah.
Like if you measure me to the centimetre,
Perfect fit, eh?
a picture boy large short. So large short, XLS is extra large short. Just so we know where we're going with that. So if we look at your chest, you're 123, 126. So chest measurement, really, you should be along here. However, remember that we can do some increases in sizes.
Yeah.
So we can add another 5 centimeters to this, so we can bring the XLS up to yours. And then moving down, thighs, waist and hips, you're 110, 119. So waist, 110, 119, again, XL, maybe even an XXLS.
Right.
Or an XLS with adjustments.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look. So you're going to be somewhere between those two suits adjusted.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a medium.
We're not there.
No, we're not.
Okay, so the next thing, I've got some, funnily enough, here's some I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
We've got the Kango undersuit for you, which is from a thermal protection, a mid thermal protection layer.
Okay.
So it's not our winter suit, but it's also not the summer suit. This is a suit that you can dive, let's say, 12 degrees plus, 10, 12 degrees plus. So for most people,
That's going to be our perfect.
most people it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
The guys that are not diving through the winter months in the completion, this is going to be a perfect undersuit for them. So, into the changing rooms, get your undersuits on.
Yep, so do what, take all this off?
Yeah, you can just take your t-shirts off. And your trousers, you can take those off as well. You can keep your trousers on.
Yeah, just to keep the t-shirt on.
What we need to be clear of, I saw somebody yesterday getting measured here, and he'd got a suit on and he was struggling. And I could see that the suit wasn't tight. So I thought, normally then it's the undersuit that's tight. So I took his top half off him, and he had a normal dress shirt on underneath his undersuit. Like, that will be. So try and take off as much as possible and put your Kangos on, and then we can get fitting in the suit.
Okay.